When most people think of the Caribbean, they picture a tourist paradise, a chain of islands perfect for a quick getaway. But for small nations like Dominica, the reality is far more complex. They're on the front lines, dealing with the threats of climate change and devastating hurricanes, all while trying to achieve energy independence and connect with the rest of the world. The stakes are unbelievably high. But for Dominica, the year 2025 represents a massive turning point, a moment where a new vision for the future is starting to take shape. The country is on the verge of finishing several enormous infrastructure projects designed to solve these exact problems and redefine its future for generations. This is a story of resilience, ambition, and engineering on a scale Dominica has never seen before. We're talking about tapping into the volcanic heart of the island for power, building climate-proof highways along the coast, and opening a brand new gateway to the world. So, let's explore the new geothermal plant, the modern coastal highway, and the game-changing international airport that are set to transform the nation. Number 1. The East Coast Road Rehabilitation. We'll start our journey on the ground, with a project that's making daily life safer and reinforcing the island against its oldest adversary, nature. For years, the East Coast Road, a vital link for communities from Bois Diable to Hatton Garden, was a symbol of just how vulnerable the island could be. Winding through mountains and along the coast, the road was at the mercy of intense rainy seasons and hurricanes. Landslides and road collapses weren't just hassles. They were events that could completely cut off communities, including the indigenous Kalinago territory, from hospitals, schools, and supplies. This wasn't just a traffic problem, it was a slow-burning economic and social crisis. Farmers couldn't get their crops to market, and tourism in some of the island's most beautiful areas was unreliable. For thousands of people, a heavy rain could mean total isolation. The Nature Isle was being held captive by its own stunning but volatile geography. The solution is the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, or DVRP, a massive effort to turn this fragile road into a modern, resilient highway. With a revised budget of around 234 million Eastern Caribbean dollars, or about 86 million US dollars, the project is a joint effort between Dominica's government and the World Bank. And you can't just call it a road repair. This is a complete re-engineering of the entire 43.3-kilometer corridor. Engineers are doing more than just repaving. They're reinforcing vulnerable hillsides to prevent landslides. The road is being widened to a much safer 6.5 meters. And the sheer number of new structures is incredible. On just the first 10-kilometer stretch, workers have replaced 77 culverts and built 15 new retaining walls. Think about that. It's an average of one major support structure every 100 meters. In the second, 20-kilometer section through the Kalinago territory, crews are building 92 new culverts and 35 retaining walls. This isn't just laying asphalt, it's building an infrastructural fortress. 5 major bridges are being completely replaced, designed to withstand future floods so that the island's beautiful rivers no longer cut off its economic lifelines. Add to that 40 kilometers of new drains to channel away tropical downpours, and you get the picture. As of mid-2025, the project is rapidly nearing the finish line. Lot 1 is essentially done, and Lot 2 is more than 88% complete, with a target completion date for the entire project set for June 2025. The impact is already clear. Dominica's Minister for Public Works called it an economic highway to development, and for good reason. For the first time, residents and businesses on the East Coast will have a reliable all-weather connection. This means faster, safer travel, but also a huge boost for farmers and new opportunities for ecotourism operators. Most importantly, it brings a profound sense of security. It means access to hospitals and schools is no longer determined by the weather. This road represents a declaration of resilience, a promise that Dominica will be defined not by its vulnerabilities, but by its power to overcome them.
Number 2. The 10-megawatt geothermal power plant. Next, we go from the coast to the core of Dominica's volcanic power. The island's dramatic mountains and hot springs aren't just for show. They're proof of a massive clean energy source right underfoot. For decades, Dominica has relied almost entirely on imported fossil fuels. That means high, unpredictable electricity costs and a heavy carbon footprint, a bitter irony for a country so vulnerable to climate change. The goal was clear: hit 100% renewable energy by 2030 and become a model of energy independence for the region. The solution? A project that taps directly into the island's natural power. In the lush Roseau Valley, construction is in its final stages on Dominica's 10-megawatt geothermal power plant. This isn't just another power station, it's one of the most advanced renewable energy projects in the Caribbean. The science is pretty slick. The plant draws superheated steam and water from 3 deep wells. This fluid drives the turbines of 2 Ormat energy converter units to generate electricity. Afterwards, a massive air-cooled condenser system turns the steam back into water, which is then re-injected into the reservoir to keep the whole system sustainable. The project broke ground in mid-2024 and has been on an aggressive timeline. Despite the challenges of rainy weather, it's remained on schedule. The target for the plant to become commercially operational is set for a hugely symbolic date: December 25, 2025. When that switch is flipped, the impact will be immediate. The 10-megawatt output is enough to supply clean, reliable power to about 23,000 homes. That covers a staggering 60% of the island's current peak electricity demand. It will slash the nation's dependence on diesel, shielding the economy from volatile oil prices. The plant will be the first of its kind in the Caribbean community, CARICOM, and places Dominica firmly as a regional leader in green energy. But this is about more than just megawatts. It's about security. Geothermal provides baseload power that's on 24/7, no matter the weather. The new transmission network being built alongside it is designed to be tougher against natural disasters. This project isn't just about keeping the lights on. It's about building a stronger, self-sufficient, and climate-resilient economy from the ground up. Number 3. The new Dominica International Airport. For its entire history, Dominica's greatest asset, its rugged, unspoiled natural beauty, has also been its greatest barrier. Known as the nature island of the Caribbean, Dominica is home to towering volcanic peaks, lush rainforests, and pristine rivers. This stunning landscape, however, has made infrastructure development a challenge. The island's 2 existing airports, Douglas Charles and Canefield, are simply too small and too short to accommodate large, long-haul jets from North America and Europe. For decades, travelers wishing to reach Dominica had to take an inconvenient detour. They first had to land in a nearby island, such as Antigua, Barbados, or Guadeloupe, and then board a smaller connecting flight. This extra leg of the journey not only added time and cost, but also discouraged many tourists from visiting altogether. This one challenge has been a constant brake on the nation's economy. While neighboring islands like St. Lucia, Barbados, and Antigua capitalized on direct international connections to build thriving tourism industries, Dominica's potential remained untapped. The island's extraordinary natural wonders, from the boiling lake and Trafalgar Falls to its world-class diving sites, were admired from afar, but remained inaccessible to the majority of international travelers. The inability to welcome direct flights held back Dominica's ambitions to develop a strong tourism industry and limited the wider economy's growth. The answer to this long-standing problem is the most ambitious infrastructure project in Dominica's history, the new Dominica International Airport. Unlike a mere expansion of existing facilities, this is a brand new, state-of-the-art development being constructed entirely from scratch. The project is taking shape on a vast 500-acre site near the village of Wesley, on the island's northeastern coast. This location was carefully chosen for its space and terrain, making it the best site for a runway capable of handling large international aircraft. The scale of the investment is staggering. The cost of the airport is over $1 billion Eastern Caribbean dollars, more than $370 million US dollars. What makes this project particularly unique is its funding model. Much of the financing comes from Dominica's Citizenship by Investment (CBI) program, a system through which foreign investors can acquire Dominican citizenship in exchange for contributions that support national development projects. This means that the project is being driven forward without putting the country into unsustainable levels of debt. At the core of the airport is a 2,850-meter runway, stretching nearly 9,350 feet. This runway is the key to transforming Dominica's connectivity. With its length, it will be able to handle wide-body jets flying directly from major cities in the United States, Canada, and Europe. Once completed, tourists will no longer need to endure multiple flights and long layovers. They will finally be able to travel straight to Dominica, stepping off a plane and immediately immersing themselves in the island's natural paradise. The construction process itself has been monumental, involving one of the largest earth-moving operations in the history of the Eastern Caribbean. The chosen site was not naturally flat, so enormous volumes of soil and rock had to be shifted to prepare the ground. As of mid-2025, reports confirmed that the project was already more than 40% complete and, impressively, ahead of schedule. The leveling of the runway is expected to be finalized by the end of the year, with construction of the terminal building already in progress. However, while the pace is fast, a project of this size and complexity requires time. Full operations are expected to begin in 2026, when the airport officially opens to the world. Beyond the runway and terminal, the airport will include a host of modern facilities. A state-of-the-art terminal will accommodate passenger arrivals and departures, while a dedicated cargo facility will streamline trade and transport. A new air traffic control tower will oversee flights with cutting-edge technology. Unique to the project is the inclusion of a tunnel built under the runway to ensure that local communities remain connected despite the new infrastructure cutting across their land. Most importantly, the airport is being built with climate resilience in mind. Dominica is vulnerable to hurricanes and natural disasters, so the facility is designed to withstand extreme weather events and to remain functional even in challenging conditions. The impact of this airport extends far beyond the construction site. Even during its building phase, the project has generated hundreds of jobs for local workers, boosting the economy in the short term. But the long-term benefits are even greater. Once operational, direct international flights are expected to transform Dominica's tourism industry. This will encourage the development of new hotels, eco-resorts, and other attractions. In turn, thousands of jobs will be created across hospitality, transportation, and service sectors. The ripple effect will touch nearly every corner of the economy. The benefits are not limited to tourism. For the first time, Dominica's farmers and fishers will have a reliable, fast route to international markets. Fresh produce, seafood, and other goods can be exported more efficiently, allowing local industries to become globally competitive. This diversification of the economy means the airport is not just a gateway for visitors, but also a lifeline for trade and commerce. Ultimately, the Dominica International Airport represents more than just bricks, mortar, and a runway. It is a bold statement about the country's future. It symbolizes Dominica's determination to unlock its potential, to no longer remain a hidden gem accessible only to the most determined travelers, but to emerge as a leading destination for sustainable ecotourism in the Caribbean. It is a gateway to new opportunities, a foundation for economic resilience, and a bridge between Dominica and the wider world. When these megaprojects are completed, Dominica's landscape will be transformed forever. The resilient East Coast Highway strengthens vital connections across the island. The revolutionary geothermal power plant secures the nation's clean energy future. And the ambitious international airport opens Dominica to the world, fueling economic growth and global access. Together, they go beyond infrastructure. They embody a national strategy to build the world's first climate-resilient nation. This is not just survival, it's progress. Which of these projects will shape Dominica the most? Share your thoughts below and subscribe to follow the biggest game changer still to come.